Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. The weather is getting warmer, rainy out there today, as I'm sure you know if you're in your canoe watching. But it means it's a great time here this spring to head up to the Smoky Mountains up in Sevier County. And when you do that, nobody takes better care of you than the Ogle family. They've been in the hospitality business up there since the park opened, and that is a literal fact. Parkside Cabin Rentals is their big business up there. Check them out, parksidecabinrentals.com, and you'll find that they have just dozens upon dozens of different layouts. No matter how big a cabin, how small a cabin you're looking for, they've got it. And always, when you rent with them, you're going to get free parking in downtown Gatlinburg. Parkside Cabin Rentals. Okay, we've spent a lot of time since Heupel was hired talking about what he did at Missouri. It was a terrible offense. He came there, made him respectable, then made it the best offense in the league, in a league that had Gus Malzahn. Lane Kiffin was at Alabama. Hugh Freeze was at Ole Miss. Those teams had more talent. The best offense in the league was Missouri's. You look at what he did at UCF. Now, it's a different brand of competition, but he's been top 3 in the nation the last 2 years, 1 and 2 in terms of offense. We've really said this is going to be this offense. We just talked about it a couple seconds ago. This offense should be able to get production out of guys where you might not see it on paper. This can gin it up a little bit. Have fans and media, including us, now overhyped it? Is there any worry that we have sold this offense as being a little too perfect? A little too, oh yeah, we'll score 40 a game this year and they'll be fine. Have we gone that far now that there's a belief that, well, we don't have to worry all about the offense. You got talent that'll fit in there, in that system. It'll be great. It's the defense we got to worry about. Have we overshot the mark a little bit?
I don't think there's been a chance of that. I think it's a guarantee that we've done it. Look, it's what you have to hang your hat on in looking at the background of Josh Heupel. That's what he has been elite at, and those are the numbers we have to go by. And at least you have something to sink your teeth into on this coach and what he has done as a head coach. Now, of course, we know what the results of that will be. People are going to expect those numbers right out of the gate, even though we all know there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be some ugly offensive performances in making the adjustment. But absolutely, I think it's, and the closer we get to the season, watch. There's the team and offensive expectations are going to go even greater in the unrealistic realm than they are.
Are you suggesting somebody might send me something on Twitter saying, what happened to the great offense, Pennington? Never
yes.
happened.
Guarantee that too.
Are you suggesting people might predict us to have 8 or 9 wins this year? Yes. As we get into August? Yes. There's no doubt. I mean, fans always overhype. I mean, media does too at times. It's going to be looked at that way. You've seen what he can do. But I think also the part of this is just saying, look at where we were last year and how far above the bar can we be?
Right.
I don't think that's overhyped because I think your bar's so low from last year. So yeah. I think you're going to have a little bit of a mix, but I definitely think you're always going to lean towards in this day and age, and with the Tennessee community, it always is going to lean more towards that we stepped over and went too far to the left
side.
or the right of the high side. Yeah.
David?
I mean, I'd like to think I am not participating in that, but I will see. I think ultimately, the offense is going to be better. I feel very confident saying that, mostly because last year's offense, what did they do well, honestly?
Nothing.
Not really anything. They threw checkdowns to Eric Gray, who caught them all and turned them into bigger plays. That's and Eric Gray's not here anymore. Right. So, that's what they did well. They were not good at just about anything last year. I think they're going to be good at some things this year. I think they're going to have some big plays. They're going to be more fun to watch.
I think they'll be harder.
That, I think, there's something to be said for that.
They'll be harder for their opponents to defend.
Yes. I think there's something
which is
to
a
say
start.
Yeah.
To actually make the opposing defensive coordinator break a sweat during the week.
Make him have a few different wrinkles.
I think big picture, what is this offense going to be in 3 years? We'll see. This team is not built to have a lot of immediate success. Maybe they surprise us, maybe. Right. But if it's just me and I'm paying $100 to walk in the gates of Neyland Stadium, it's been a long COVID year. I didn't get to go to games last year. Do I want to watch my team lose 27-10 or 45-31? I know my answer to that, and maybe that's just me. But this team is not built for success immediately. Maybe they will eventually, but it's going to be more fun next year, and that I think there's value in that.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I've lived through a lot of, we should, fans should accept a little bit of improvement, and they don't. It's basically, well, you still didn't win the national title. I mean, I always go back to the Butch Jones stuff. It ended so terribly that erased it, but it had been horrible here, and he had back-to-back top 25s, 9 and 4s. Yes, it was disappointing. Should have done more, but it was treated like that was 0 and 12. And that's the kind of stuff I hope Heupel gets a little bit of a break here. In terms of that offense, I would expect in year one improvement what you saw last year, but I wouldn't expect it to be number 2 or number 3 in the nation this year. Now, maybe in year 2 or year 3, maybe when he's got a quarterback who's done it a couple of times and they know what they're doing, maybe. But this first year, I'm just looking for improvement. So in terms of overselling it and overhyping it, if people are thinking that he's going to walk in here, even at Missouri where he turned it around that first year, it wasn't what it was in his second year. That's when it went through the roof and off the charts and every other cliche I could throw out there.
And John, I'll say this, not that Heupel, I think, is hyping his own offense or what his team might do, but the fact that he is pretty positive, they're not, taking little baby steps. He's not talking down about any aspects of his team. He comes across as confident that it will work. And I think that kind of stuff will resonate with fans that, hey, even though there's a lot of new, maybe do have a chance for it to be pretty decent in year one.
I think the thing I keep coming back to is, the improvement on offense. The good news for him is the bar is on the floor there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah, it couldn't be much worse than last year. That was about as bad as you've seen.
Even 19 wasn't great.
Yeah. All right. When we come back, a lot of Vol fans look at what's done at University of Texas. I get it all the time. They know when they not put up with mediocrity. They fire their coaches. They spin big. They go get the big names. Let's take a look next at how well that's worked for Texas. Sometimes Tennessee's blowing money the other way, but let's look at the Texas administration and how they're running things, because if that's the goal, to be more like Texas, it's not working either. Come on back on the Sports Source. We'll discuss it.